Are you a guy that suffers from being skinny fat? Or maybe you're a guy that is in a position right now when you don't know whether you should be looking to lose body fat and cut, or whether you should be looking to gain muscle and start bulking. I'm going to break down in this video exactly what I would do in this situation when it comes to either cutting first or bulking first. My own personal experience, and after coaching thousands of clients, I've had this exact problem as well. So very simply, my advice is always to get lean first. I would always focus on cutting first and losing body fat before you start putting yourself into a calorie surplus. Now, the reasons why this is really important, firstly, is because you want to get yourself to a healthy body composition. There's no point in trying to build on a house that already hasn't got the foundations in place. You want to get lean and you want to take your body fat down to a position where it's at about maybe 10 to 12 or even 15% first, at least slightly start to see your abs before then starting to add muscle. And even if you're a fairly skinny guy that's still got a bit of a belly, this is what I would do. And let's be frank, if you are doing this in the correct way, you're eating the right foods, you're training the correct way, you're still going to build a bit of muscle. You're still going to build some muscle even though you're cutting. So in theory, you're still going to actually end up looking probably bigger than what you did at the start, even though that you're on a bit of a cut. That's why it just makes complete sense. Now, what we've got to think about as well is that our body wants to start building from a leaner position. Our hormones are in a better place. We produce more testosterone, so we're able to build more muscle. It's just more effective to do this from a place of low body fat first rather than high body fat. If you start trying to build muscle and you're like 18 to 20% body fat, it's just not where your body wants to be. And you're probably going to be a bit demotivated as well. What I mean by that is when you start building muscle from this position, you're essentially going to kind of get probably bored of the process. Like building muscle is quite a patient process. You don't see progress that quickly. So if you're doing it from a place where you're not confident with your body, you haven't got the six pack, you don't have the veins in your biceps, you're probably just going to end up giving up because you're probably just going to be sat there thinking, well, I still don't really look the way that I want to look. And I'm just kind of, trying to build muscle. And essentially what happens is you just go back and forth. You might decide, okay, I'm going to build muscle this month. And then, I'm going to go back to a fat loss phase. And the problem is that when you try and chase both rabbits and you're constantly kind of, chopping and changing, you end up catching none. You need a singular focus of just one goal first, so that after you're in a position where you can go on to the next goal. So I would always recommend that it is the initial dieting phase, the cutting phase, the stripping things back first before you start then going into a bulk. And the way that you want to think about this is if we get the dieting phase done first, everyone, in my opinion, that's pretty much maybe at the start of their fitness journey or, is really looking to take it seriously for the first time, you've only really got one big diet that you need to do. And it might not even be a big diet. If you're kind of skinny fat and you haven't got that much body fat, it might be a fairly short diet, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. But really, if you do it properly and you do it once, you only really need to do it that one time. And then after that, you would then focus on building muscle for a considerably long amount of time and then not really need to go and do a long diet again. That's the way that it should be. Even if you look at this and feel like you've got more body fat to lose, it might be 10, 15, 20 kilos, whatever it is. If you get rid of that first, however long it takes, after that, you can spend copious amounts of time building muscle because it does take time. You're not going to add 20 to 30 pounds of muscle to your physique in 6 months. It's going to take longer than that. So you need to be in it for the long run and be able to really commit to a bulk for a longer time. So we get lean first. We get a body composition to a really good place. Focus on, a 12-week transformation, 16-week transformation. Get yourself to the point as to where you've got a clear six-pack. You like the way you look without your top on. You can look in the mirror with confidence, veins in your biceps. You've got that shredded look that a lot of guys want to have. Even if you feel a bit skinny, that's completely normal. That's fine. And then when you get there, you want to start slowly increasing your calories. You want to go through that reverse diet, slowly adding calories back, maybe around 150 or so a week, slowly kind of trying to hold the weight relatively low for that moment in time when you're increasing calories. And then you want to focus on trying to add muscle over the course of the next 6 months, 12 months. I'd say I've probably spent maybe between 4 to 5 years in calorie surpluses, over the last 10, building muscle, getting stronger, like constantly trying to add to certain places on my physique. So as you can imagine, it takes time. It's not something that's done overnight, but it's extremely worthwhile process in terms of going through. If you add more muscle, you increase your metabolism, you're roughly looking at probably gaining between 1 to maybe 1.5% of your weight per month. It's a slow process. It's not fast. This is natural. We're not talking about taking gear. We're doing this in a natural, progressive way, which means that over time, we're going to start to see the differences in the way that we look. You do this for a good amount of time. And then realistically, when you've done that, you're going to be lean because we're going to be lean bulking. We're going to be adding calories in slowly. We're not doing a dirty bulk. So you're going to have a lean composition. You're still going to be at around that 12% body fat, maybe a little bit higher, but nothing too crazy. You're still going to see your abs, but you're also going to start adding muscle. You're going to start to look hencher. You're going to start to develop a chest. Your shoulders are going to start to pop. Your quads are going to start to get bigger. And you will start to have that awesome, athletic, lean male physique that most guys want. It takes time, but you'll get there. And then you're in a position like kind of I'm in now, and a lot of our clients are in, where you can spend most of the year either at maintenance, which is where you're eating the same amount of calories to be able to maintain your composition and kind of just, working on your fitness, enjoying staying lean, still kind of building muscle, but it's relatively slow. Or you can spend time building muscle, like I say, being in that calorie surplus and spending time still working on these weaker areas. And then realistically, you will only really need to spend like 20% of your year potentially in a mini cut sort of dieting phase. You might decide you want to go in a calorie deficit 8 weeks before your big holiday or 12 weeks before your wedding or something like that, where you've got a particular event. You might decide I wanted to do a photo shoot. You might work through your initial journey and be like, right, I'm ready to smash it and take it to the next level. I'm gonna go and do a photo shoot this year. I'll enter a 12-week prep. But we really want to be only 12 weeks away, sometimes maybe even less than that. I personally like to say like 8 weeks away from being absolutely shredded, so that I know that if I want to get shredded for a particular event, I can do it in 8 weeks. I can do it in less time than that. So I think my last photo shoot prep was 6 weeks to get into the leanest composition again that I would want to get to. Photo shoot prep I did before that in 22 was about 7 weeks when I came back from Dubai. So I personally like to keep myself in a position all year round where I'm lean, I'm fit, I'm strong, kind of have everything in terms of fitness. I can run, I've got a good baseline in lots of different areas. And if I really want to fine tune, because I've got like a holiday coming up or something that I want to look my absolute leanest for and look shredded, I can do that in like 6 to 7 weeks. Maybe I would do that a couple of times per year, once for the summer. Maybe, I've got to shoot towards the end of the year. So that is basically your 20%, right? That's like your 20% of being in a calorie deficit. And then the rest of the year, we're eating lots of food, we're enjoying life, we're looking great, we're eating at maintenance, we're being in a surplus, and we're basically looking good whilst having all the food and calories that we want to have, which is pretty much the way that it can be. It should be for most guys. So that's my opinion. Okay, don't get confused. Don't try and do both at the same time. If you do both at the same time, progress is going to be so slow. You're not going to burn loads of body fat and gain loads of muscle at the same time. Scientifically impossible. We lose fat first, we get lean, we get to around 10 to 12%, maybe even a little bit above that if you're not looking to get super lean. And then from there, we build, and we get the physique that we want. Very simple process. This is what we do at FitLab. We have a 4-phase journey that's literally lined out in this exact way for our clients. So they come onto the program, they get to that initial transformational goal where they get lean, and then we build them out and we take them into our performance phase, where we add muscle, we get them stronger, and we start getting them fitter, and they stay in shape for the rest of their life. That's very simple. If you want more information about how we can do this for you on our Lean 365 program, go to my Instagram page, give me a follow, Chris_FitLab, and just drop me a message with the word lean, and I will give you all the information that you need. Apart from that, guys, hope you found this video useful. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I post. And as always, catch you in the next video.